Hello, everyone. This is Evie, the Sponge Reviewer here, and today I'm here to give you guys my review on the new episode of the Patrick Star Show that came out today, the Patrick Show After Dark. And I have to say that this episode was actually slightly better than yesterday's episode, in my opinion. So, in this episode, just from the name alone, Patrick and Squidina host the Patrick Star Show after show hours during the night hours, and this was a really fun episode. Seeing sorry, well, I was going to say SpongeBob. Well, he is in this episode, but that's not what I meant to say. But it was really cool seeing Patrick and Squidina traveling through their house and throughout Bikini Bottom at night, seeing what shenanigans they'll get themselves into. And I actually am going to spoil heavily in this review is because that I want my reviews to be more in depth, and I will try to cover everything in the episode. So if you want to avoid spoilers, you might want to leave out this videos because I will go in depth just a little bit of this episode to point out everything that happens and to tell you if I enjoyed those segments or not. So let's not waste any time. So, first up is Patrick and Squidina seeing their mom and dad being Cecil and Bunny playing a Monopoly-like game where Bunny has to make Cecil pay $16,000 on this Monopoly game. And yeah, so they were playing this bootleg Monopoly game. That scene of the episode, it was pretty fine, I guess. I mean, it wasn't really anything crazy, but it was alright, in my opinion. Now, the next scene is where things get really weird, and that is with Grandpat, where Grandpat was about to get ready for bed, I think. I think that's what was the context of the scene, but what it was is that Grandpat, this was more body horror related, where he basically took out his eyeballs, he took out his liver, and it was basically body horror in a way. And then Squidina and Patrick were freaked out about it, so they left out of the house. And then their next stop was at this pet club. It was like this pet shop that was turned into a nightclub, and it was guarded by this giant clam. And they basically disguise himself as a snail to sneak into the club, and that's where we get to see Gary. That's where we see the sea bunny and Ouchie, which is their pet sea urchin. They were hanging out at the pet club, and then when why do I keep saying SpongeBob? I mean this. Yes, he is in the episode, but I did not mean to say that. Like he is in the episode, but I haven't got to his part yet. But yeah, so when Patrick and Squidina sneaks into the club, that's when they accidentally revealed themselves when Patrick was listening to the music and he accidentally stopped the record player from playing, and that's when the pets at the pet shop had this very evil scheme of them having domination of Bikini Bottom. Basically, they were coming up with this plan to like stop like their pet owners, like their pet owners were mistreating them, and so they wanted to get revenge on them. So that was their plot for the episode. And then afterwards, we get to see Sandy again in the Patrick Star Show. She has a role in the episode where she was looking through a telescope in this observatory. She was looking through the moon, and she was doing science. And then Patrick was fooling around with the telescope, breaking buildings, crashing into people's houses. That scene was really funny. That was a really funny scene. I really enjoyed that scene. And then we get the episode's climax, where that's where the pets show up, and they were basically wanting to get revenge on Patrick and Squidina for ruining their club. And then SpongeBob shows up out of nowhere to translate what Gary was saying, and that's when the pet owners open up their pet food, and that's when all the pets stopped what they were doing and went ahead to eat their pet food. And that's where the episode ends, with Patrick and Squidina arriving home at 6 o'clock in the morning, basically, and then they get ready for the next day, and that's how the episode ends. Oh yeah, there was another really funny gag that I really liked about this episode was the sound cue every time it showed the alarm clock. Showing what time it was in the episode. It was like this really intense sound cue, which I thought was pretty funny. But yeah, overall, this was a really fun episode. I really enjoyed the Patrick Star Show After Dark, or the Patrick Show After Dark, whatever you want to call it. This was a pretty solid episode, and I really enjoyed it. Alright, so that is my review on the Patrick Star Show After Dark. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with the other review. or the other episode that's coming out. So stay tuned for that.